Welcome to Crushgasm, the podcast dedicated to the highs and lows of crushes from their first to the worst. We're going to cover them all with a cascade of characters, but we're switching gears right now to focus on a few organizations that crush it when it comes to giving back. And first up is a nonprofit that's nestled in the Shenandoah Valley, Cinderella Project. For almost 20 years, Rhonda has run this nonprofit that's been dedicated to providing free prom attire head to toe to local teens. Anyone who has ever gone to prom knows that it can be a lot of money, not to mention the additional costs of the prom goer if they're a senior. I mean, the end of the year for seniors, it is so costly. You have your college applications, senior trips, senior photos, all that jazz, plus prom. It can be costly, and Rhonda felt that students and their families did not need the additional cost of prom clothing. So, back in 2004, she kicked things off. She started in the corner of a thrift store and parking lots at gas stations, but eventually settled into a location in Stanton, Virginia in 2017. She then had to pack things up and look for a new location when the Stanton Mall closed about 2 years later. After a couple more years, she was able to get back open at a brick and mortar store at the Valley Mall in Harrisonburg, Virginia. So Rhonda herself comes from not only the nonprofit realm, but also the pageant world. So fashion, she knows what she's talking about, and through those pageants, she was able to get a lot of the gowns that are donated in the shop to give out to the young prom goers. Rhonda is not alone in this though. In the almost 20 years she's been doing this, she's worked alongside a bevy of volunteers that include fellow pageant participants, parents of those participants, local students, and community members, including myself. I saw the storefront for the Cinderella Project when we first moved to the area in the fall of 2021. It was always closed because I didn't know that it was like this seasonal thing for prom. So I finally, after a few visits to the mall, I was like, let me look this up. And I saw that they needed volunteers, so I was like, I'm going to do it one Saturday. And that March, I went one, and within a year, I was the vice president on the board. When it was time for me and my husband to move on and to Ohio, honestly, the Cinderella Project was the biggest thing that I was going to miss because it was never not rewarding to be able to help students find something to wear to prom or even graduation. We help out with a lot of things there. Being someone who could not afford all the senior activities that I just mentioned, like the trips and prom and applications, I know all too well what many of the students who walked in those doors were going through. So it felt great to give back and give them their Cinderella moments week after week during prom season. However, running a nonprofit is really hard, and while Rhonda is a superwoman, she can't do this alone. So if you're in the Harrisonburg, Virginia area, the Shenandoah Valley, and would like to volunteer on Saturday, please do not hesitate. Or if you're not in the area, like many people aren't, you can always donate using the link below or hit me up and I'll give you the address for where you can mail unwanted formal attire for both girls and boys. The shop is built up on donations, so if you have a old bridesmaid dress that's just taken up room in your closet, or you wore a suit once to a Christmas party and you no longer need it because you've moved on from that job and they just give you gift cards now for the holidays and you're lucky that way, send it their way so that a student in need can attend prom in style and have one less financial worry on their plate during their senior year. Again, you can find the donation link below, as well as Cinderella Project's Facebook, so you can stay in the know with how they're doing and what they may need as prom season approaches. And as always, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me open up about an organization that means the world to me. Everyone, you can find all of Cinderella Project's information below. And until next time, as always, like Cinderella Project, keep crushing it.
Crushgasm is part of the I Did Not Make These Rankings podcast network, alongside some other pretty cool shows, including An Evening at the Movies, Crime, Rewind, Literature Reapers, Love is Black, Masturbators, Men Are the Prize, and The Simplest. You can find all of us and more over at idnmtrpodcastnetwork.com.